Our opening hymn this morning is number 425. Sing the mighty power of God that made the mountains rise, that spread the flowing seas abroad, and built the lofty skies. I sing the wisdom that ordained the sun to rule the day. Author of our freedom, to the voice of our pleading, those you have redeemed, our Lord Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with you.
A reading from the Acts of the Apostles. When Paul came to Antioch in Pisidia, he said in the synagogue, "My brothers, children of the family of Abraham, and those others among you who are God-fearing, to us this word of salvation has been sent. The inhabitants of Jerusalem and their leaders failed to recognize him, and by condemning him, they fulfilled the oracles of the prophets that are read Sabbath after Sabbath. For even though they found no grounds for a death sentence, they asked Pilate to have him put to death. And when they had accomplished all that was written about him, they took him down from the tree and placed him in a tomb. But God raised him from the dead, and for many days he appeared to those who had come up with him from Galilee to Jerusalem. These are now his witnesses before the people. We ourselves are proclaiming this good news to you that what God promised our fathers, he has brought to fulfillment for us, their children, by raising up Jesus. As it is written in the 2nd Psalm, "You are my son, this day I have begotten you." The word of the Lord. You are my son, this day I have begotten you. I myself have set up my king on Zion, my holy mountain. I will proclaim the decree of the Lord. The Lord said to me, "You are my son, this day I have begotten you." Ask of me, and I will give you the nations for an inheritance, and the ends of the earth for your possession. You shall rule them with an iron rod. You shall shatter them like an earthen dish. And now, O kings, give heed. Take warning, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear, and rejoice before him. With trembling rejoice.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said to his disciples, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You have faith in God, have faith also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If there were not, would I have told you that I am going to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back again and take you to myself, so that where I am, you also may be. Where I am going, you know the way." Thomas said to him, "Master, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way?" Jesus said to him, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I have lived most of my life in an era that did not know GPS. And so when I was looking for directions, I would readily turn to a map, a printed map. And I was very good at refolding them in exactly the same way that they were folded when I found it. I grew up in the era of the Iowa Basic Skills Tests and Iowa Tests of Educational Development when math reading was a separate test. I did very well on those. I have GPS in my car. It came with it. Sometimes I use it. And if I have to go to an address that I don't know, somewhere off the beaten path, if it's off of Collins Road or Blair's Ferry or Boyson, I can find it. But if it's off of a side street somewhere, even if I punch it into GPS, I will Google it first on my computer and look and see just what location it happens to be in. So I have some general idea where I'm going. Well, Thomas this morning was looking for directions as well. Jesus is saying to him, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." And Thomas says, "Lord, we don't know where you're going. How can we know the way?" And is that because Thomas really didn't know the way? Or is it again an example of his doubting Thomas personality, where he questions where Jesus is going? But Jesus says to him, You know, Thomas, you followed me before, just continue to follow the way, the truth, and the life. There's so many people in our world today who doubt Jesus, who doubt the path that he has laid out for us, who doubt the truth that he speaks to us, who do not seek the life that he won for us. And that's why there are so many problems in our world, because we have abandoned the way that Jesus has taught us. The way of Jesus is, first of all, the way of the cross. We know that. We also know that the cross leads to resurrection. And so much of our world that we live in tries to avoid any kind of suffering or difficulty or stress or anything like that. We don't want to be a part of that. And it's not that we go looking for that, but it's going to come our way whether we seek it or not. And we have to learn to embrace those difficulties that come our way, knowing that Jesus has told us, take up your crosses and follow after me. Well, the cross is a part of each of our lives. And we need to know that if we follow Jesus through the cross, we will also then eventually follow him to the joy and the glory and the life of the resurrection. We can't come to God except through Jesus, as he tells us this morning. No one comes to the Father except through me, except through Jesus. We can't get there anywhere else. We can't get to heaven until we follow Jesus through this life on this earth. So let us embrace Christ and let us embrace his teaching, and he leads us then to goodness and glory and life in his Father's everlasting kingdom.
Our church, that we witness the dignity and worth of all of God's creation. Lord, hear our prayer. All those who live in doubt, that they may know the presence of the risen Christ. Lord, hear our prayer. For reconciliation among people, loving relationship. Lord, hear our prayer. For all of the sick and suffering, those with terminal illness, they may experience new life. Lord, hear our prayer. For all of our brothers and sisters, God will raise them up in Christ. Lord, hear our prayer. All those personal needs. All today. Rising from the dead, your sons are life in this world. Prayers of your sons and daughters born of baptism. All believe. In Christ and others. authority, he gave it to his disciples. This all of you and drink from it. Blood of the new and eternal covenant, for you. History of faith. Jesus is bread, drink this cup. Proclaim your death, Lord, until you come again. Celebrate the memorial of his death and resurrection. Offer you, Lord, the bread of life and the chalice of life. Thanks that you have helped us. Taking the body and blood of Christ, gathered into one. Remember, Lord, your church spread the fullness of charity. Also, our brothers and sisters, fallen asleep in the hope of the resurrection. All who have died in your mercy, welcome them into the light of your face. All the saints who have pleased you throughout the ages, merit to be co-heirs of eternal life. God Almighty, unity of the Holy Spirit, glory and honor is yours. Born by light. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For us, Lord, we pray. Of your mercy, we always pray for sin, and faith, blessed hope, kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. Graciously grant Lord be with your spirit. Take away the sins of the world, and have mercy on us. Lamb of God, take away the sins of the world. Lamb of God, you take away the sins of the world. Grant us peace. by the passion of your Son, lives and reigns forever. With your Spirit. Thanks be to God.
A reading from the Acts of the Apostles. Lift that from down here, or just we can do it here. A reading from the Acts of the Apostles. When Paul came to Antioch in Pisidia, he said in the synagogue, "My brothers, children of the family of Abraham, and those others among you who are God-fearing, to us this word of salvation has been sent. The inhabitants of Jerusalem and their leaders failed to recognize him. Still louder. Okay. A reading from the Acts of the Apostles. When Paul came to Antioch in Pisidia, he said in the synagogue, "My brothers, children of the family of Abraham, and those others among you who are God-fearing, to us this word of salvation has been sent. The inhabitants," okay, all right, just loud and don't lean in. And make sure that this, now, it's okay to do it from here versus down, I think. Okay.
It's not so much, it's more of, I can
Bend
see
right
kind of
there.
bend.
Okay, all right.
I think
It's good to
kind of
know.
is always aimed at your teeth.
Teeth. Okay, that's good. All right.
Because most people, if they put it too low,
Because even Father, now I know he didn't have his mic on him, which I can hear fine, but I thought he kind of trailed. And again, I know that's how we speak sometimes. We have to really concentrate when we're. I know. Or even sometimes in the middle, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't catch that. I can kind of sort of get it because of the words around it. But. Going up.
good, good. Is he home? Right. Right, yeah. But he knows.